Happy Monday and welcome to Love at Lunch. My name is Leona Devin and I am here to talk today about bolstering resilience. This is one of the tools that I talk about in my book, Finding Your Joy Spot. And so when things are rough, how do we rise? And so today I am going to talk about 8 research-backed ways that we can be resilient. Now, if your memory does not feel that resilient, I will join that club. Any one of these 8 ways to bounce when things are feeling rough is going to be helpful for you to navigate whatever you might be facing. So, one of the first ones is to feel the feels. So when we can name the feeling that we're feeling, it helps our brains to understand what we're going through better, and it lessens the stress or the emotional charge. So increasing emotional literacy to think, oh, I feel disappointed or I feel frustrated. And it can change moment to moment, but what it does is it takes a brain that normally we will process hard emotions from our brainstem, and then we can have a reactive response. But if we can take a moment and get mindful, which just means literally take a moment and go, what am I feeling? We feel the feelings to free the feelings, or we name it and we tame it. All the psychological jargon. And so in this case, feel what you feel and acknowledge what it is that you feel and name it. So I feel really disappointed. That helps your brain organize the feeling and emotion, almost puts it like in a little file and goes, yeah, that's hard. But not as hard as having these random feelings just running amok or being like a popcorn maker in your head. The other pieces is, so that's how we regulate some of those feelings. And then the next part is we are hardwired for connection. And so we need to be able to relate to somebody. Being connected is our number one need. When we look at organizations, we look about diversity and inclusion and belonging, it is the right thing to do, but it's also what we're hardwired for. So when we feel like we're disconnected or we're struggling with something on our own, one of the ways that we can support ourselves is to tell a trusted friend or coworker or partner, whatever that is, what it is that we're experiencing. Very, very important. When we are hijacked by something hard, our brain automatically tries to jump ahead and to help mitigate any other strain or stress in this situation, and we go to future surfing. So we go to those places of what if. Now, there's a place to be strategic around this, but rarely does a what if moment really help us become centered. What if moments help to activate that dangerous part, danger noticing part of the brain, and does not help the strategic part of our brain to come online. So we need to get centered in the moment. One of the ways that we can do that, it's hard to hijack or get a hijacked brain back online by thinking thoughts. We will talk a little bit about some research-based tools that help to do that, but the best way to hack into a hijacked brain is through the body. Get moving. Walk and go get something to drink. If you can, go walk around the block. Anything you can do to self-regulate. Breathing helps. So breathing in through your nose and having a longer breath out or an exhale helps to soothe the hijacked brain. So breathing, using your senses. What do you taste, see, smell, hear, etc. helps to get into a hijacked brain as well. So stay in the moment. Tell yourself the truth. I often ask clients, is this a trigger or is this the truth? And so that's really important to differentiate. Sometimes a trigger can be, I don't know, you get some feedback. You're like, oh my goodness, what happens if I lose my job? The what happens if I lose my job is most likely a trigger unless you've already gone down the road and you've been written up and whatever have you. What's the truth? The truth is I got some feedback and I'm feeling vulnerable. See how we use that emotional intelligence even to recognize, oh, I feel vulnerable, just like the first point. And so tell yourself the truth. What is the actual truth? Not what your brain has made up about it. We need to differentiate between those two. Now, I don't want to be trite, but gratitude centers a hijacked brain. So when you are feeling like you are just like, I cannot do this, this is overwhelming, who cares about resilience, this is just too much, I can't navigate this much change, this much uncertainty, all of the things, gratitude does actually help a hijacked brain. So it sets off some different neurotransmitters and helps to soothe us. So being grateful, and it might just be, I'm grateful I'm wearing shoes, I'm grateful I can breathe right now. Gratitude does help to soothe a hijacked brain. And you don't have to make up something fancy that you're grateful you're going through that. Don't do that. It's not good for you. It's not true. But being grateful for something does help to soothe the hijacked brain. It also is a form of mindfulness to bring you present. So gratitude is a brain changer and a game changer. Oh, I hate this one. So we know that the most resilient people don't fight their current reality. And that's not saying if this something is unjust that you don't fight that. But let's say there's something that you can't do something about, a diagnosis, something like that. I hear it all the time, F cancer, things like that. And if that bolsters you, great. But sometimes it's just best to accept what's going on and then being resilient and doing what you can regarding the situation. But if you're constantly at a loggerhead with your current situation, it's going to really, really take you out of that sense of control and decrease that feeling of control. It's just like, you're a victim to it. No, but okay, if I'm going to accept the current face down reality, and we know that is one of the key components of resilience is the face down acceptance of reality. And we know that primarily from studying POW camps, POW prisoners. May your current situation not feel that bad, but it is the face down acceptance of reality. And then thinking about how can I creatively use my resources, and then how can I focus on what I can control, not on what I can't control. Which leads us to number 7, deciding what you can control and letting go of the rest. And so making a list, what is it that I can control here? Let's say bad diagnosis. Sorry, I just had an MRI, check on my brain tumors, but maybe I'm feeling a little vulnerable. We don't know anything yet. Deciding what you can control. What can I control? So if that did go down the road, I don't want it to go down, what doctors can I use to support me? Maybe I need to set up an appointment with my therapist so I've got some good skills. I'll be connecting with my coach at the end of the month. I've got some good people that I can engage that wouldn't judge me for the feelings I'm having. So what can I control and what will I do around that? And what I can't control, I always have a saying that I say, I will always have what I need when I need it. So developing a statement that reassures your brain, doesn't solve all the problems, but it does give your brain something to hang its hat on. And the last piece, we are meaning-making machines. And so when we're going through hard times, it's important to think, gosh, this is hard. I feel this way. All the things that we talked about so far, but what are you learning? Nothing in life is ever wasted. Nothing, I promise you. It may only be a 4% gain, but it's never wasted. So what are you learning? And so spending time every day thinking, what did I learn today? What was important? Add that into your gratitude and you'll be amazed. And we call that post-traumatic wisdom. Hopefully it's not too traumatic, but it's really important to be thinking of what it is you're learning, because when we learn, it makes meaning and it creates wisdom. And that's what we're here for. So the 8 ways that we bolster resilience, you can take one, and if you get my blog, you'll be getting the entire list of them. If you're not on my blog list, you get this just a little note from me with these different components and some journaling prompts so that you can be integrating in this. Number 1, feel all your feels. Recognize what you're feeling. If you say it internally, I feel this, it reduces the intensity of that feeling by about 25%. If you're feeling feelings that you like to feel, like joy, contentment, love, connection, it actually helps you savor them and increases and bolsters the feeling of positivity. Number 2, tell somebody who you trust how you feel. We are relation beings, and being connected to somebody really bolsters resilience. Number 3, stay in the moment. Do whatever you can to be where your feet are and to avoid future surfing. Number 4, don't live in the trigger. Tell yourself the truth. Your brain may hijack you and say, oh my goodness, this just happened. What if I die? What ifs are always our invitation to come back. Future surfing never helps us. Come back. What's the truth? I just got diagnosed with this. I can't jump ahead, even though the trigger is leading me there. Be grateful. Gratitude changes the brain, and it helps us to stay mindful, and it helps us to give us some positive neuromodulators that help it to bolster resilience. Don't fight it. Anything you can do to accept it. It doesn't mean that you have to like it, but if you spend so much time fighting your current reality, it doesn't really help us to bolster resilience. So, okay, this is what's happening. Take a face-down view of reality and then move to the next one. Number 7, decide what you can control. And with the part you can't control, then having a statement that supports resilience, like mine. I trust I have exactly what I need. I have other people that are like, not my circus, not my monkeys, depending on the situation. So you can make a list of what you can control and then start moving towards that, taking action. And then the last piece, we're meaning-making machines. We're here for a reason. I personally try to go by the idea that nothing is a mistake and that it's meant some way to bring something good to me, even if it's only a 3% return on that investment. So learn. What am I learning? What am I noticing? What am I learning about myself? What am I learning about my others? And so those are 8 ways that you can bolster resilience. Take 1, take 5, take 8, square them, and have 64. Whatever works for you. But my hope is that this is helpful, number 1. And if you are going through something tough, reach out. I'd love to be of support in this time. And I do hope that on this Monday, you will know some goodness and you've gained some tools to help you bounce when things are hard.